Now, Mike Hooper, the media has been filled with reports today of a very fiery, storming meeting between you and Suresh Kalmadi over your comments that the Games Village was filthy and unlivable. Our sources saying that Kalmadi and others made the point to you that you had attended all of those meetings of the organizing committee, and everything that's going wrong with the Games, you yourself and the Federation surely are also partly responsible.
Not at all. You must remember, the Commonwealth Games Federation is an organisation of 5 people. We have 5 full-time staff. The Government of India, the Delhi government, the IOA and the organising committee made a commitment to the Commonwealth and the members of the Commonwealth in 2003. If you award us the Games, we will deliver these things. This is what we will deliver. These are the obligations that we accept, and we will make it happen. We accepted that commitment. We have a host city contract that clearly says the responsibility for the implementation and delivery of all those promises that were made, all the commitments, and to the standard they will be delivered. All of that is contractually bound. The Government of India, Delhi government, organising committee, etc. We don't have the resources to deliver that. That comes down to the host. We pass on all the rights associated with the Games to that host. What we try to do on an ongoing basis is to support and work with the organising committee, and where necessary, challenge. But ultimately, to get the work done and to do it, that is the responsibility of the stakeholders here in India. Now, you know, there's a reason why the Games are awarded 7 years out, and that's because there's a huge amount of work to do. We've heard ministers of sport talk about monsoon wedding approaches. That's unacceptable. The reality is, you know, we come back to that 7 years, a lot of work's to be done, and venues didn't start on time, they were delivered late. Had they started earlier, we wouldn't be in half the predicaments that we've seen arising in recent months.
But Mike Hooper, you sound very aggressive, and I think many Indians would ask you this question. You have been attending all of these meetings of the organising committee. Are you saying that the responsibility is India and India's alone and not yours at all?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's likely to be a controversial statement, because the fact of the matter is, Mike Hooper, that you have been in India for 3 years. You are the big daddy of the Federation representing the Commonwealth Games here in India. And if you believe that the responsibility is entirely India's, may I ask you, what do you see as your own responsibility?
Look, the Commonwealth Games Federation, as I say, awards the Games to the host. The host has signed a host city contract that outlines the commitments that they will deliver and the promises they made. India has made a massive investment in looking to deliver these Games. I'm hopeful that indeed will come off, and we look back at all these things and dramas that have happened in the last 12 months or so, will come off, and that we can look back and say, hey, and the athletes look back and judge these Games a success, and a thoroughly enjoyable experience. But at the end of the day, responsibility for delivering on the obligations, the promises made, sits with India. Certainly our job is to work with and get things done, and to try and get things done, but ultimately the implementation and the delivery is the responsibility of India, the organising committee, the Government of India, Government of Delhi, etc.
So you're essentially saying, to borrow a name from the title of this program, that the buck does not stop with you at all?
It stops with all the stakeholders. The buck stops with all the stakeholders. We've awarded the contract. As we do with any Games, even the IOC doesn't have the ability to actually implement and deliver an Olympic Games. That is why it has a very similar structure. So quite simply, responsibility for delivering the Games and delivering on the commitments made sits with the stakeholders here in India, and certainly there's no doubt in the level of commitment that's been made by all of those parties. We now hope between now and the 14th of October, we see a successful celebration of the Games.
Well, there was